Hey everybody, it's Anita here. Hey, today I wanted to talk about something that just came up in a coaching session that I had with a client. And so this client was really struggling with understanding um, their almost like I would say like their value, what they were really good at, and being able to see that for themselves to be able to take the next step. Now, I know a lot of times on this channel, we talk about creating high ticket offers that are um, highlighting the incredible value that you bring, but I want to kind of dial it back a little bit and talk about a lot of things oftentimes that are going on in our head and our heart. And so let's kind of dive in a little bit about that. So, today, I want to talk about how do you recognize your greatness, recognize your worth, recognize the value that you bring really in business, in your consulting business. But I also want to talk to really how do you just recognize your value just as an individual. So let's talk about like practical, tactical stuff first. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about mindset. So get ready. As I'm going through this live stream, feel free, as always, to put comments in there. As the content resonates with you and it hits, then leave me a comment. I'd love to be able to hear about where it's landing, how it's hitting, and how I can serve you better. Okay, so a couple of things. Did you know that So there's a book that's out there. I think it's called Outliers that talks about how in order to get really good at something, you have to put in like 10,000 hours. And while the premise of that book is really interesting, what I want to be able to um, share with you today, do you know that actually you've been you for more than 10,000 hours? When I first heard this, and one of my coaches said it to me, I was like, "Wait a minute, what do you mean by that?" and then she kind of took me through this experience that I'm going to take you guys through as well. Because I think once you start recognizing the things that you've done, and you'll start actually seeing your greatness a little bit more. So if you're able to, not if you're driving, but if you're able to, while you're listening to this live, maybe take out a piece of paper and start taking some notes along the way. So we know that in the consulting world, if you've been in project management or in the SAP world or anything like that, or an entrepreneur, we know that there are certain markers that show that somebody is qualified in what they do. And maybe those markers could be things like, I don't know, maybe you have a certification, or maybe you have a certain degree, or maybe you have a certain level of experience. But let me just kind of like break that down a little bit more. So if I'm a project manager and I'm working on an SAP project or a consulting project or a software project, something like that, then I know that I can teach my kids to follow a project plan with all due respect for all of us that know how to do project planning. Like a project plan is simply a ordered set of tasks that have to be done for a client to go from where they are to go live on their new solution. We all know that. So do I need another certification in order to be able to say that I'm an expert in a certain tool or a certain methodology? Now, the market would say, people would say, yes, you have to have these certifications. Yes, you have to have these, you have to be certified in these methodologies. The ones that come to mind off the top of my head, I'm not knocking them, but I'm just going to use them as example. Maybe in order to move forward and get that new role, you have to be PMP certified. Maybe in order to go forward and to get that new role or that new client, you have to be Agile certified. Right? Those are tools and methodologies, which are great tools and methodologies. But here's what I want you to recognize. So on your piece of paper, I want you to talk about and write down for yourself, how many years have you been doing what you're doing? Okay, write that down. How many courses have you attended? Okay. How many certifications do you have? And maybe what are those? How many books have you read on this subject? You can see in my background, I have gobs of books are all around our house. We love books in our household. How many books have you read on your particular subject? Now, I'm going to ask you to go a little bit deeper on this. So maybe I am a project manager, but the methodology that I use with my clients, I'll use an example that I have. So I have a offer that I bring to the marketplace that's called a de-escalation breakthrough formula. And if you guys have heard me at all before, one of the things that I'm really known for in the industry, in the SAP world, is being able to take projects that are on the verge of lawsuit, radically over budget and significantly over time, and get them back and go live. I've done hundreds of these projects over more than 20 years worth of experience. And as I step into those environments, did you notice what happens? The tone of my voice actually changes. The confidence in the being able to say, I know that I know that I know that I can get somebody out of escalation and back on track and go live and save them millions of dollars in their project. I know that I can do that. So that's what I want you to kind of think about in your mind, right? Not about me and what I do, but what about you and what you do? What do you do that you do better than everybody else? I'll use Russell Brunson will say in, I think it's in the Expert Secrets books. He talks about what do you do better than 95% of the population? So as you're looking at the courses that you've attended, the certifications that you might have, the education that you might have, I want you to jot all that down. How many, oh gosh, how many seminars have you been to? If how many, I don't know, partner summits have you been to? How much education have you actually gone through and studied and books and read and done all the things to be able to get better at the slice of the market that you serve the best? And then I also want you to take it one step further. I want you one step further. I want you to be able to describe a little bit more in detail. Give me like a one sentence summary of what do you do better than everybody else. And actually, as I put this video out, it's live, being recorded live right now. But as I put that out, I want you to put in the chat, what do you do better than everybody else? I want you to acknowledge, maybe tap yourself on the chest and say, Anita, and I am an expert in this thing, and whatever your thing is. And it's something like this. I help whatever segment of the market that you do solve this problem. You could maybe even add for bonus points, you could add something that says like without whatever their struggle is. Okay, so what do you do better than the marketplace? Then either email me back or make comments on the video down below. I'd love to hear what you consider your superpower. One of the things that happens when we go through this experiment, that's what I called it, that's right, an experiment, is we start to see our greatness. We start to see the expertise that we bring to the marketplace. Now, here's another thing that I'm going to do is that um, this is one of the things that my coach has taught me. When I'm speaking and I'm talking about my offer, I'm talking to my right fit client, I'm just talking out in the marketplace. One of the things that we can do is actually put my shoulders back and just raise my chest just a little bit. And that whole change in my posture, instead of being slumped over and acting, talking like this, and actually what it does physically is it kind of like condenses your lungs, is if I just adjust my shoulders back and raise my chest up just by inches, that posture, that shift in my posture will actually boost my confidence. So if you want to boost in your confidence, go ahead, boost my confidence in the comments or boost my confidence in the email and respond back to me. I want to know who I'm talking to right now. If there are other areas where you'd like for me to be able to teach you things that you're struggling with in your mindset, in your consulting business, in creating high ticket offers, in describing your value and recognizing your greatness and seeing who you actually are, I believe this is who God has made you to be. You don't have to believe the same things that I believe, but I believe it for you. I believe you have greatness out there that the marketplace needs, and I'm here to help you find it. So I'll see you again on the next video tomorrow, or on the next video. We're going to continue this trajectory of going through the parts of not only creating high ticket offers, but recognizing your greatness, delivering that value to the marketplace in a way that the world is literally, figuratively dying, waiting for you. I'll see you soon.